Imagine this. It's 7:12 a.m. You're half asleep in a freezing coffee shop line, praying the caffeine hits before your soul leave your body. And then he walks in, smug grin, expensive watch, zero shame. He pretends he just has a quick question and slides right to the front like the rest of us are invisible. For times I watched it happen. For times nobody said a word. But on the fifth morning, I snapped, and what I did next made him never, ever try it again. If you've ever been disrespected by someone who thinks rules don't apply to them, if you've ever fantasized about the perfect, ice-cold payback that leaves them speechless, then smash that like button right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is the most deliciously petty coffee shop revenge you'll hear all year. Picture a tiny independent cafe called being there squeezed between a dry cleaner and a vape shop. One door, one register, one exhausted barista named Maya, who somehow still smiles at 6:45 a.m. The line starts forming outside before they even unlock. By 7 o'clock, there's usually 6 or 7 of us zombies clutching our coats, doing that little impatient shuffle, just trying to survive until the first sip of coffee. And every single morning, he arrived. Let's call him Watch Guy. Mid-30s, Patagonia vest even when it's 60 degrees, AirPods permanently in, that 1,000-yard stare that says, "I'm very important and you're in my way." He'd push the door open, scan the line like a hawk, and the second he saw more than 3 people, he'd do it. The performance. He'd let the door swing shut behind him, pause dramatically, then snap his fingers like he'd just remembered something crucial. "Oh, shoot. Quick question for the barista." And he'd stride past all of us, shoulders back, shoes clicking like he was walking onto a stage. The first time I saw it, I thought it was a fluke. He asked Maya, loud enough for the whole shop to hear, "Hey, real quick, what size is your medium again?" Maya, bless her, answered politely. And then, because he was already up there, he just ordered grande cold brew, extra ice, paid with Apple Watch like he invented contactless. Walked out sipping while the rest of us stood there like statues. Second time, same script. Third time, he asked if they had that oat milk that doesn't taste like feet. Fourth time, he held up the entire line for 45 seconds debating whether the blueberry muffin was actually made in-house or just Cisco. Every time, the air in the shop got heavier. You could feel the collective internal screaming. But nobody said anything, because we start to fight at 7 a.m., over a $4 coffee. We all just clenched our jaws, stared at the floor, and hated him in silence. I started waking up angry. Physically felt my blood pressure spike the second my alarm went off, because I knew he'd be there, stealing 3 minutes of my life like it was nothing. I'd rehearse speeches in the shower. "Hey man, there's a line." Some of us have jobs too, dude. But by the time I got to Café, the words evaporated. I hated that he'd made me into a coward. I hated that he won every single day. Then came the morning everything changed. It was drizzling, gray skies, everyone extra miserable. I was fourth in line when the door chimed. There he was, same vest, same smug half-smile. I saw his eyes flick the counter, saw the finger snap coming, and something in my chest just ignited before he could even take his first step. I moved. I stepped out of line, so fast my umbrella clattered to the floor. "Oh my God. Sorry, I totally forgot. I have a super quick question." I practically sprinted past him and slammed both palms on the counter, like I was ordering the nuclear codes. Maya looked up, startled. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, totally. Okay, dumb question. What's the difference between a latte and a cappuccino again? Phone-wise?" Maya opened her mouth. "Actually, wait. Do you guys have oat milk?" No. Do you have the Oatly Barista edition or the regular one? Because they froth totally differently. Also, is your almond milk sweetened or unsweetened? Does the sweetened one curdle in hot espresso? I've had it happen before, and it's tragic. Watch Guy was now stuck directly behind me, forced to stand there like any other mortal. I could feel his stare boring into the back of my skull. I kept going. "And your pastries," walk me through them real quick. "Is the chocolate croissant made with actual European butter or just butter? Because I can taste the difference." Also, how long have you been sitting out? I don't want one that's been here since 4 a.m. Oh, and do you warm them? Because if you microwave it, the layers get sad. Maya was trying so hard not to laugh. The two people behind me in line were openly grinning. And watch guy, his face was turning the color of a ripe tomato. After a solid 90 seconds of this, I clapped my hands together. You know what? This is too many decisions before caffeine. I'm going to step back and think about it. I turned, gave him the sweetest smile I've ever given anyone in my life, and said, "Sorry, you were next, right?" His mouth opened, closed, open again. Nothing came out. I slid back into my original spot in line, like nothing to see here. The woman behind me actually whispered, "You're my hero." He stood there frozen for another second, then, mortified, shuffled to the back of the line, like a kicked puppy. The next morning, I walked in, heart pounding, ready for war. He was already in line, dead last. Didn't even look up when I walked past. Third morning, same thing. Fourth morning, same thing. A full week of this, and he never tried the quick question move again. In fact, he started showing up earlier just to avoid the risk of there even being a line to cut. About 10 days in, I was second in line when the door opened. Watch guy walked in, saw me, and dead serious, his eyes widened like he'd seen a ghost. He immediately pivoted, pretended to check his phone, and waited outside in the rain until a spot opened up at the very back. I almost cried from laughter right there at the register. He'd been trained, like a lab rat that finally learned which lever gives the shock. Sometimes the smallest injustices cut the deepest, because they remind us how powerless we feel in everyday life. But that week, I took the power back, not with yelling or violence, just mirror image pettiness served with a smile. And honestly, it felt better than any overpriced latte ever could. Justice doesn't always need a courtroom. Sometimes it just needs someone brave enough to ask about pastry ingredients for 3 straight minutes. If this story made you cheer, made you pump your fist, or even made you consider your own coffee shop nemesis, smash that like button for me. Drop your most satisfying petty revenge in the comments. I read every single one. And subscribe because next week we got a story about a Karen who messed with the wrong flight attendant. Trust me, you're not ready. I'll see you in the next one.